Good morning. It is freezing this morning, as you can see. The sun is shining and all, but it's actually more like 1 or maybe 0 in the current area here. But this is the new baby B-Max from Ford. Think of it as a C-Max that's been on a little bit of a hot wash too long, and you got the idea. The difference is between this and C-Max, of course, this has sliding doors in the rear, which are the parents' favourite. Why I say the parents' favourite? Because it makes it very easy to get kids in and out. But there's another trick up the sleeve of the B-Max, is that what they've done is remove this pillar entirely. Normally there's a thing called a B pillar that goes right down here in the middle. That has been removed from this grand scheme of things, so you can see the opening here. That's icy there behind me. The opening here is huge. What they've cleverly done is actually hide it in the door frame. So you see the actual door is very, very thick. And this side too. So they split it kind of in two and shoved it both directions to give you access that way. Now that gives you other options, because now you're able to actually lean in from this angle to do things. So you can lean in different ways when the two doors are open. It does make life a lot easier. You wonder where the seat belts are. They've gone into the side of the seat here, into a kind of a clip thing. And it's actually very clever. Now clever doesn't really end there with this car. That's not, I thought when I seen this first, when I went through the webinar, they've got a web seminar thing. I seen it at a show. I thought it was a bit of a gimmick. I thought this is just kind of gimmicky. But actually what they've done is make the car quite small on the outside, but still giving you plenty of room roundabout on the inside, because these doors open, you've got all sorts of choices to be able to move things back and forward. Now the seats are able to fold up as well. And so you drop them 60-40, which is quite good, although the seatbelt does get trapped behind the seat, which is very annoying. Anyway, under normal circumstances, when you shut the doors, there's no particular order for shutting them in either. You can open and close the doors as you please. It's very clever. I do like this thing. And from the outside, it just looks like a C-Max, a normal little C-Max. You can see the door, actually, the runner, goes all the way to the taillight on that end. The door can open further than it allows. And it's very easy to open and close. It is a bit heavy. It is for, I suppose, slippy, slidey mornings. It is a little bit heavy, but it's still very clever. But the cleverness doesn't end there with the B-Max. It actually continues around the back of the car too, because the boot isn't really that small. It's pretty good in here. I mean, there's plenty of things to look at. There's little shopping bag hooks here on the side. Pardon me, my big rucksack is in the back of it with all my camera equipment. But you can see there's plenty of space in the back, and a 60-40 split. Plus you have a split floor. So not only do you have a sort of a split floor that you can dump things under, or you can actually drop this down into the floor out of the way, so it makes a full length boot. I can actually stand up full height under the tailgate. That's unusual. That's very unusual in these cars. Normally, dunk, dunk, hit me head off that one, because I'm quite tall, so that kind of usually puts people off. Anyway, let's have a look on the inside. So on the inside, now this was the titanium version of it, alright, so don't panic. I have a Sony stereo, which is by far and away the better stereo for the Ford range. It's very, very good, as Sony stereos go. I have keyless start. I actually have a key, but I don't need the key. You just put your foot in the clutch and press the power button. Then you put your seatbelt on, which is slightly awkward because the seatbelt's sort of behind you rather than beside you. But that's okay. Live with that. Now all I have to do is get out of this place because it's in a frozen heap. Oh, that's not the volume button, that's the fans button. Reverse back down a hill here. So it's got off-road capability. No, but in seriousness now, folks, the little B-Max does a great job of shuttling itself around the place. I thought it was going to be tiny, weedy little thing because, you know, it hasn't got a lot of horsepower or anything, but in actual fact it does well. There are a couple of annoying features. They're not terribly bad things, but they're slightly annoying. One is the windscreen wiper doesn't wipe over this way far enough, because the B pillar is missing, the A pillar has grown a little bit, so the A pillar is quite a big thing with a big triangular bit in it as well. So it kind of blocks that point of view, so you do spend your time kind of going Now that wouldn't be so bad, but the fact that in inclement weather such as we're having right now, or dirty weather like the dirt that's on the road at the moment, I find that the gap, the actual space that the wipers wipe to, is very, huge on this side. It doesn't go very far. So that's one little annoying feature. Ford have probably the simplest way of connecting by Bluetooth of basically any company. There's a guy just stopped here in a van, taking over the whole road. What the hell's going on here? What's this, boys? You weren't blocking me as the van. Oh, he's driving the van as well. How can you drive two cars? I'm not. What? Oh, in there. Never had this one before. Here we go. See? Big red van blocking the middle of the road. I went into the man's driveway to get around it. Exciting! I should have turned the camera around to have a look at that. It's stuck to the windscreen. Anyway, you never know what you might see when you're out driving on these little country roads. Ford have the best kind of Bluetooth on the market, as far as I can make out, for connecting your phone. Because basically you get in, you do a search, and the car goes, put in this PIN number, and you're done. It's all over. It's in, and it never seems to forget my phone. And in fact, it has a list of all the other press journalists who've had a spin in the car. The little B-Max was up for Car of the Year this year in Ireland. Now, while I'm not too sure it could have won the entire thing, I think just based on innovation, it probably should have won its segment. It maybe even should have won the whole thing. It's got a lot of little innovative, simple features. Ford have paid a lot of attention to this particular car when they're putting it out. Now, it's not that Ford needs saving. I mean, the Focus sells incredibly well, as does the Fiesta, as does the Mondeo, which are all incredibly capable, well thought out car. And of course, there's a new Mondeo coming next year. But what Ford have done here with the B-Max was to make life, well, simple for parents. It's not perfect, but it's damn well near it for a small car to be able to do what it does, especially removing that A-pillar, which is going to be the sign of things to come, folks, by the way. Now that Ford have done it, other people will go, do you know what? That's probably a good idea to remove that bloody pillar. And that's what will happen, because it offers options to get you in and out of the car. And although it may seem like a little bit of a gimmick, it isn't. It isn't. It actually does offer new options for getting kids in, for putting passengers in. And there's plenty of room in the car as well. Okay, realistically, you're going to carry 4 people, not 5 people. But when it comes to it, this is really going to be a child shuttle. That's what it's for. That's what it's going to be designed to do. And it does that incredibly well.